As with any community where we work, as social or youth workers, there are several steps we can take to improve the relationship we have with the members of those communities and thus to increase the impact we have. This is also the case for Roma communities. In this video, we will give you 5 important tips and tricks to work with Roma communities and to enhance your presence in their lives. Let's begin. First, connect with the community. Try to learn as much as possible about the community you are working with. Learn about their habits, fears, expectations, beliefs, and so on. Spend some time talking to the people, even if it doesn't bring you any immediate relevant information. Try to learn about any social structuring, potential leaders, and change makers in the community. People whose voice is most often listened to. Find out about their struggles and their reasons to celebrate. To this end, we would even challenge you to try to connect with one of the children or youngsters you are working with by learning as much information as possible on a specific topic, for example, games they play, daily activities, and so on. Ask about where, when, with whom, why, how long, and so on. Second, gain the trust of the people, even of those you don't work with directly. Connecting with the community you work is only the first step in the process of establishing a trustworthy relationship with its members. To further continue the process, you need to be as authentic as possible as well. Keep an open mind for a diversity of ideas, practices, and beliefs. Try to judge as little as possible and try to understand more before you make up your mind about anything. Share some personal info as well when interacting with the people in the community, so that they can relate to something. Also, keep your word as much as possible, as lack of it will definitely harm your trust. Third, manage your level of expectations. Inevitably, you will have expectations of your work and the impact it has in the community. While it's great to aim high, don't forget all the little steps in between. Progress is also something to appreciate with every child and youngsters you are working with. Noticing every good step someone takes also helps them and you to remain motivated. At the same time, it would be very useful to discuss the end results you will be aiming with the actual child you are working with. There is a possibility that their ambitions will be different from yours, and that opens a door for negotiation. 4. Show an interest in their culture. Having already gone through this program, you took steps in that direction, so congratulations. To go even further, we think it would be nice to get a few more aces under your sleeve. When working with communities that speak a different language, even if they speak your own language as well, whether they are Roma or refugees, it's always helpful to know a few words in their language. A simple thank you or hello in their language can open the way for a more open discussion and also helps a lot with the trust they place in you. There are many videos on the internet about the basics of Romani language, so check some we proposed after this video to be able to introduce yourself and say a few words to your Romani-speaking clients. And last but not least, 5th, be aware of your own prejudice and perspective. In every human interaction, there are prejudices and/or perspectives that shape the said process. It is extremely important that you know your own prejudices, if any, towards Roma people and that you try to clarify them. One possible way to do that is to actually confront those ideas by talking to the people about their reality and even asking about your own prejudices. Keep in mind to maintain a non-judgmental attitude. For more specific tips and tricks on how to work with vulnerable communities, I would invite you to check out our program, Connecting with Your Target Group.